Okay, guys, welcome to today's Friday Happy Math Hour. Today we're going to cover parabolas and ellipses. This is section 10.1 and 10.2 and 10.3 according to the Math 2412. There's no 10.1. We don't cover 10.1. It's according to the syllabus, it's skipped. So we start with 10.2 and 10.3. Okay, 10.2 is going to be parabolas and 10.3 is going to be ellipses. Okay, all this section, guys, has to do with conics. Okay, what are conics? A conic section is an intersection of a plane and a double nap cone. Notice in figure 10.8, right, that in the formation of the four basic conics, the intersection plane does not pass through the vertex of the cone. You see, guys, this is going to be a circle because if you cut a plane on the cone, it's going to be a perfect circle. If you cut it with a plane, diagonally, it's going to be an ellipse. And if you cut it, here on top, it's going to be a parabola. And if you cut it, straight down, it's going to be a hyperbola. So 10.2 is the parabolas, 10.3 are ellipses, and 10.4 are hyperbolas. When the plane does pass through the vertex, the resulting figure is a degenerate conic, right? If the plane cuts it through the vertex. You see all these three here. But we're going to be covering, like I said, the ellipses, parabolas, and hyperbola. Okay, first we're going to cover parabolas, which is 10.2. A parabola is a set of all points, x, y, in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed line, the directrix, and a fixed point, the focus, not on the line, right? So it's like this, guys. This is my directrix, right? And this is my focus. The vertex is like the midpoint of the directrix and the focus. Okay. Again, the vertex is a midpoint between the focus and directrix. The axis of the parabola is a line passing through the focus at the vertex. Okay, now, guys, this chapter, I like to explain it like in a different way, guys, because I have a handout that I give to my students, and this handout tells you all the characteristics of each type of conic. For example, these are the standard equations of a parabola, right? So if it's vertical axis, it's going to be parentheses x minus h close parentheses squared equals to 4p parentheses y minus k. And for the horizontal, it's going to be parentheses y minus k close parentheses squared equals to 4p parentheses x minus h close parentheses. If you notice, if it's vertical, the one with the x is squared. If it's horizontal, the one with the y is squared. That's how you can tell the difference, right? And this is a vertical one, right? It's vertical, right, which is open upward, and this is the horizontal. Okay, now check this out, guys. If p here, guys, right? If p is positive for the vertical, it opens upward. If p is negative, it opens downward. It goes down. Same thing with the horizontal. If p is positive, it opens to the right, and if p is negative, it opens to the left. Okay. Hey, guys, and this is what I have on the formula sheet or the handout that I give to my students. I cut and pasted this section here. These are the characteristics they're going to be looking at. Okay. Okay, now, hey guys, for the parabolas, we need to find the following. We need to know what the h is and the k is, right? This is how you find the center. The center is hk. And also, you need to know the p. Okay. And also the standard form of the equation, either vertical axis or horizontal axis. But to make it simpler and quicker, guys, I'm going to call the vertical, right? We also have to find the vertex, focus, and the directrix. But I want to call the vertical number 1 and the horizontal number 2. This way, when I finish this concept with my students, I ask them, is it going to be number 1 or number 2? And this way, they know number 1 is going to be the vertical, and number 2 is going to be the horizontal. Okay, but these are all the key components that we're going to be finding out. Writing the standard equation of the parabola. Okay, let's do an example. It says, example 1, finding the standard equation of a parabola. Find the standard form of the equation of the parabola with a vertex at the origin and the focus 2, 0. So solution. We got the vertex, which is 0, 0, because that's the origin, and the focus 2, 0. Because the next thing we're going to know, is it going to be 1 or 2? 1 vertical or 2 horizontal? How can we find out? Right? Is it 1 or is it 2? If you notice, if it's vertical, the H's repeat, right? You see here for the vertex and the focus, the H's repeat. And for the horizontal, the K's repeat, which are the Y values. In this case, right here, the K's repeat or the Y's repeat, right? Because the 0 and the 0 repeat. That means it's going to be number 2. So we erase everything for number 1. So we're going to focus on number 2. Okay. So now, the vertex is 0, 0, right? That's my vertex, so my HK is 0, 0. Now, I need to find my P. Okay. So with the focus, we're going to find the P, right? Because the P, according to the focus will be H plus PK. So we know that my H is 0, right? H is going to be 0. But if you notice, guys, it's going to be H plus P equals to 2 because this is the X part or the H part of the vertex, of the focus. So H plus P must equal to 2. Now we know that the H is equal to 0, so then P equals to 2. I found my P. Now I go to the equation, right, which is Y minus K squared equals to 4PX minus H. So all we do is plug in the values for H, for K, and for P, right? So it's going to give us, on the left side, it's going to be Y squared equals 4 times 2 is 8 to 8X. This is my equation that we're looking for. Okay. Now, there's another one. Find the standard form of the equation of the parabola with the vertex 2, 1 and the focus 2, 4. So again, we have the vertex, right, and we got the focus. So same thing as before. Which one is it going to be? 1 vertical or 2 horizontal? Right, that's my vertical, that's my horizontal. You guys, if you notice here, the H is repeat, right? Because the H is repeat, or the X value repeat. So it's going to be number 1, because number 1, the vertex and the focus have the same H, or the same X. So it's going to be number 1. Okay? So we got the vertex 2, 1. So my H and K will be 2, 1. And with the focus, we're going to find our P. Okay. So in this case, right, my focus is H, K plus P. Right, so we know what the H is already. We know the H is 2. We need to find the value for the Y value, right? My X will be the 2 or the H. So K plus P is going to be the Y value. So K plus P, right, equals to 4 because it's 2, 4, right? So K plus P equals 4. So we know what the K is. The K is 1. We plug it in. Subtract 1 from both sides. So my P equals to 3. So I got my P. Okay. So all we do is plug it in. My H is 2. My K is 1. And my P is 3. So it's going to give us parentheses X minus 2 squared equals to 12. Y minus 1. That's my solution that we're looking for. The equation of the equation of the parabola. Okay, now, because this actually is from the homework. This means it's from section 10.2, number 29. It says here, find the standard form of the equation of the parabola with the given characteristics. The vertex is 6, 3, and the focus is 4, 3. So again, right? So solution, vertex is 6, 3, focus is 4, 3. So which one is it? Is it going to be 1 vertical or 2 horizontal? That's my vertical. That's my horizontal. For the vertical, the H is repeat, and for the horizontal, the K is repeat. Here, guys, right? The K is repeat. That means it's going to be number 2. Okay. So I got my vertex, right, which is the HK. So I got my H and my K. My H is 6 and my K is 3. The focus is 4, 3, right? So with the focus, we're going to apply that H plus PK, right? So we know that my k is going to be 3. Okay, so it's going to be something 3. So h plus p must equal to 4. And the h is equal to 6. So it'll be 6 plus p equals 4. Subtract 6 from both sides, so p equals to -2. So I got my p, -2. Now we get the formula for the horizontal, which is y minus k squared equals to 4p times x minus h. So we plug in the 3 for k, the -2 for p, and the 6 for h. Right? So it's going to give us parentheses y minus 3 close parentheses squared equals to -8 x minus 6. This is the standard form of the equation, of the parabola. Now, let's do another one. This is, again, 10.2, number 34 from the book, or from the homework. It says, find the standard form of the equation of the parabola with the given characteristics. The focus is 0, 0, and the directrix is y equals to 8. Okay? So solution, they give us a focus, right, and the directrix. So which one is it? Is it 1 vertical or 2 horizontal? Okay, if you notice here, guys, that directrix equals to 8. So this shows that it's going to be number 1, because the directrix will be y equals to k minus p, is y equals to something. If it's number 2, it'll be x equals to something. In this case, it's y equals to something, so it's going to be number 1. Okay, therefore, right, we got the focus is 0, 0. So we know that the h is going to be 0, right? Because here, guys, the h is repeat, so we know the h is 0. Okay, now we have to find k and we have to find p. Okay, now if you notice, the directrix is y equals to 8. And the focus is 0, 0. Remember, guys, from the definition, that the vertex is a midpoint between the directrix and the focus. Right? You see, here's my directrix. Let's say it is y equals to 8. And here's my focus. The center will be 0, 0. So the vertex is the midpoint between the directrix and the focus. So between 8 and 0, what's the midpoint? Wouldn't it be 0, 4? Okay. Because say this is y equals to 8. So this point has to be 0, 8. And the focus is 0, 0. So the midpoint between 0, 0 and 0, 8 will be 0, 4. So that's why this is my vertex. So we know that my h is 0 and my k will be 4. Okay, now, how do we find p? So y equals to k minus p. So here, right, so we know that y equals to 8 and my k equals to 4. So to solve for p, right, we subtract 4 from both sides. So it's going to give us 8 minus 4 will give us 4. 4 equals to negative p. We divide both sides by -1. So p equals to -4. Okay. So now, let's plug in the values, right? So my h is 0, my p is -4, and my k is 4. We plug everything in. So we're going to get x squared equals to -16 parentheses y minus 4. So this is the standard form of the equation of the parabola that we're looking for. Okay. Okay, here's another homework. This is 10.2, number 43. It says find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix of the parabola. Okay. I guess this one is kind of obvious, right? Because if the x is squared, it's going to be the vertical. Which again, we need to find h, k, and p. Which form is it? It's going to be vertical, right? Because with the vertical, the x is squared, and the y is to the first power, so it's going to be number 1. Since x is squared, it's going to be number 1 vertical. So we're going to do the characteristics of number 1 here. So guys, so the vertex, right, is hk. So my vertex will be 1, -2. right? So I already got my h and my k. Now to find p, we use the formula, right? I mean, first of all, right, because the y has to go to the right side. So we subtract y from both sides. So it's going to give us parentheses x minus 1 squared equals to -8, y plus 2. Now from the formula, right, we know that to find p, that 4p must equal to 8. We divide both sides by 4, so p equals -2. So I got my p. Now, right, the focus, is this to find the vertex, which, we already did. We need to find the focus and the directrix. The focus is h, k plus p. So my h is -1, my h is 1, the k is -2, and my p is -2. So I'll be 1, -4. That's my focus. My directrix is y equals to k minus p. So I know what the k is, my k is -2, and my p is -2. So it's going to be -2 minus -2 will give us 0. So there it is, guys. That's my vertex, which is 1, -2. My focus is 1, -4. And my directrix is y equals 0. Okay, now, here, guys, they give you, they want you to find the focus of the parabola, just the focus. Okay, now, because here, guys, we have to complete the square. Okay? Now here it is obvious that it will be the vertical because the x is squared. You need to complete the square. Okay? So this is the one that we're looking for, right? Because the x is squared. So we have to more or less complete the square and form the given equation into something like the formula here, guys, that parentheses x minus h close parentheses squared equals to 4p y minus k. Okay, here's where we start. So first, I want to get rid of the fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by -2. So if we do that, it's going to give us -2y equals to x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now, the next thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to add 1 to both sides because we want everything that has x on one side and everything that has y on the other side, or with a constant. For example, here we're going to add 1. So it's going to give us -2y plus 1 equals to x squared plus 2x. Now we're going to change them, right? So I just put the right side on the left side to match the formula, and the left side to the right side, right? These are equivalent. So I wanted to match the formula. Now here, guys, is where I'm going to complete the square. Okay. Okay. Now, I guess what goes here is half. This is called the bx term. Half of the bx term squared. So what's half of 2? It's going to be 1. What's 1 squared? It's going to be 1. What you put on the left side, you also put on the right side. Now you got to factor the left side and add the right side. Simplify. Right. So the left side factors to parentheses x plus 1 squared. Okay. Now, guys, if you struggle with this is not too complicated. Okay. How you do it? Right. If you have x squared, just put 1x down. And then what's half of 2? Is 1, right? So you put it there and you square it. Every time it's going to work. Say if it was like a 6 in the middle, right? It'll be x plus what's half of 6 will be 3. And then you square it. So 9 will go there and 9 will go there. Okay? And on the right side, it's going to be -2y plus 2. You see, guys, the left side, it already matches the formula. But the right side doesn't. So here, guys, on the right side, I have to factor out a -2. So if I do that, it's going to give me on the right side -2 y minus 1. So I already got my vertex, right? It's going to give us -1, positive 1. H is -1 and k is positive 1. Now to find p, we're going to let -2 equals to 4p, right? So 4p equals to -2. Divide both sides by 4. So p equals to -1/2. So that's my p. Now we're looking for the focus, right? It says to find the focus. So the focus, here's my formula. So we know it's going to be my h is -1. It's going to be -1 and 1 plus p, right? By p is negative 1/2. So 1 plus -1/2 will give us 1/2. So my focus will be -1, 1/2. That's the focus. Okay. Hey guys, a lot of students struggle with completing the square. Okay. So here, guys, if you're taking this course, you also have to know how to complete the square in Cal 1 and Cal 2 and Cal 3. And also differential equations. You have to know how to complete the square. Okay, so please practice that. Or if you need any help, come see me during Sunday numbers at the Trans Mountain campus. Okay, now this is 51. Okay, here we're going to complete the square again. Find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix of the parabola. Again, guys, right? Isn't it obvious, guys? Since we have x squared, it's going to be number 1, right? I mean, it's going to be the vertical because the x is squared. So here are the characteristics that we're going to need. Okay, now, so we have to complete the square. Because for the first step that we got to do, well, I'm going to add 6y to both sides because I want the x's on the left side and the y's on the right side. Y is with a constant. So I'm going to add 6y to both sides. Once I do that, we have x squared plus 4x equals to 6y minus 10. Okay, now, here, guys, we're going to complete the square. Okay? So, what's half of 4? Half of 4 is 2. And 2 squared will give us 4. What you put on the left side, you also put on the right side. So, factor right and add. Hey, guys, again, what's going to go here? Okay, here we go. It's going to be parentheses. It's going to be only 1x plus what's half of 4? It's going to be 2. So it's going to be x plus 2 squared. Hey guys, x plus parentheses x plus 2 squared is equivalent to x squared plus 4x plus 4. On the right side, -10 plus 4 will give us -6. So now, guys, the left side, it matches the formula, but not the right side. So on the right side, we have to factor out a 6. So it's going to give us parentheses x plus 2 close parentheses squared equals to 6 parentheses y minus 1. Now it resembles the formula. Okay. So now I need to find p. I know what the h and the k are, right? That the h is -2 and my k is 1. Right? That's the vertex. So to find p, right, we get the formula. So 6 must equal to 4p. So 4p equals to 6 divided by 4. So p equals to 3/2. So I got my p, 3/2. Now, let's see, we're looking for the vertex. The vertex will be -2, 1. The focus is going to be h, h comma k plus p. Right, so I know what the h is. My h is -2, my k is 1, and my p is 3/2. So it's going to be -2, comma 5/2. That's my focus. Just by adding the 1 plus 3/2. Now, what else are we looking for? The directrix. The directrix is going to be y equals to k minus p. Right? So it's going to give us y equals, my k is 1, and my p is 3/2. So 1 minus 3/2 will give us 1/2, -1/2. So I got my vertex, -2, 1. I got my focus, -2, 5/2, and I have my directrix, which is y equals to -1/2. I believe, guys, that's it for the parabolas. Now comes the ellipses. Okay, for the ellipses, guys, an ellipse is a set of all points x, y in a plane, right? All points on the ellipse x, y. The sum of whose distance from two distinct fixed points called the foci, right? These are my focus, right? You see, but they're foci because there's more than one. And here, guys, this point here is going to be my vertex. You see, like you see in figure 1013. Let me go back. You see, guys, this is my vertex. The vertex goes with the major axis, guys. The major axis means it's the biggest one. For example, this is going to be horizontal, so the major axis takes hold, right? So you find the major axis is going to be 2A. You see, here's my major axis will be 2A. And the minor axis is equal to 2B, okay, which I'm going to show you on the next slide. Anyway, guys, we have to find the vertex, the foci, and the center, and also the standard form of the equation, okay? For example, the major axis is horizontal, guys. It's gonna look like the horizontal is gonna be wider, and if it's vertical, vertically, will be wider, right? Okay, now this is also the formulas from the handout that I give to my students. This one, the case repeat, right? The case repeat, and then the other one is going to be the H repeat, which would be it's going to be vertical. Hey guys, what's the difference between these two? What's the difference? If you notice, the difference, the A squared and the B squared switch places. Yeah, which means the A means it's going to be the major axis. If the A is underneath, if the biggest number, the denominator is underneath the X, it's going to be horizontal. If the biggest number, right, on the denominator is underneath the Y, it's going to be vertical. The A determines what's going to be the major axis. Okay. Let's call the horizontal number 1, and let's call the vertical number 2. Okay. Now, we also have to find some more things, right? We need to find the H, the K, the A, the B, and the C. Also, right, this is you find C. C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. And again, the major axis will be 2A, and the length of the minor axis will be 2B. Okay. Now, we also have to find, right, here it says the foci lie on the major axis, right? The foci lie on the major axis. For example, if it's horizontal, the foci lie on the major axis, which would be horizontal. If it's vertical, then the foci will land, vertically. Okay, let me show you here. So again, C squared equals to A squared minus B squared. We need to find the standard form of the ellipse, the center. The center will be HK. We need to find the vertices, right? Hey guys, these are the vertices. Let me show you at the corner, right? The major axis. You see, these are the vertices. And the foci, guys, is going to be, right, for example, if it's horizontal, it's going to be right about there. And the center is always a midpoint between the foci. Okay? And if it's vertical, right, again, the center is always a midpoint of the foci. Thus, you can find the center if they give you the foci. And also, you have to find the eccentricity, which is E equals to C over A. Now, let's do some examples. It says here, find the standard form of the equation of the ellipse with the foci 0, 1 and 4, 1, and the major axis of length 6. Okay, so solution, right? This is what given. So which is going to be? Is it 1 or 2? Let's find out. This is 1, horizontal. This is 2. If you notice here, guys, the case repeat, right? The case repeat or the Y values repeat. Right, the case repeat is going to be number 1. So we're going to erase everything that has to do with number 2. Right, so we're looking for, right, so this is the characteristic that we're looking for. So with that said and done, guys, we need to find H, K, A, B, and C. Okay, so we know, right, this is what we know here. The center is a midpoint between the foci, right? So here we go, right? So what's the midpoint between 0, 1 and 4, 1 is going to be 2, 1. Because we know both are going to be 1. But between 0 and 4, what's the midpoint? Will be 2. So that's why it's 2, 1. which means my H is 2 and my K is 1. Now also, guys, now that we have here the foci, with the foci, guys, I'm gonna find my C, right? I'm gonna come here to find my C. So it's gonna be H plus or minus CK, right? So it's gonna be, right, it's either, guys, if it's minus, it's gonna be the smallest H value or X value of the foci. If it's plus, it's gonna be the larger value of the foci. You don't have to do both of them. You only do one. But here, guys, I'm going to do both of them just to show you that you get the same answer for C. Okay? So here, guys, we know that C equals to 2. On the right side, we subtract 2 from both sides, so C equals to 2, right? So we know C is 2. Again, it's always wise to only do one. Don't do both of them because you're wasting time there. I like to get the one. The highest C, will be the positive one. Okay? If you want to get, the lowest C or the lowest, here, right? The lowest one is going to be 1 for the C, and the highest will be the 4. That's why for the lowest one you subtract, and for the highest one you add. Now, measure axis length of 6, right? So the measure axis is equal to 2a. So 2a is equal to 6. We divide both sides by 2, so a equals 3. So I got my a. Now, all we need is to find b. That way we have every component needed to find the standard form of the equation of the ellipse. So then how do we find b, right? With the formula c squared equals to a squared minus b squared. So this is equivalent to b squared equals to a squared minus c squared. So let's plug in the values for A and for C. My A is 3 and my C is 2. So B squared is equal to 3 squared minus 2 squared will give us 9 minus 4. So B squared is equal to 5. So B equals to the square root of 5. So I got my B, square root of 5. Now, let's go to the formula. Okay, I'm going to plug in all the components. I'm plugging the H, the K, the A, and the B. My H is 2, my K is 1, my A is 3, and my B is square root of 5. So let's simplify it. It's going to give us parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses squared divided by 9 plus open parentheses y minus 1 close parentheses squared divided by 5 equals to 1. This is the standard form that we're looking for of the ellipse. Now, let's do another one here. It says here, sketch the ellipse 4 squared plus y squared equals 36 and identify the center and the vertices. Okay. So here, right, so first I need to match the formula. Right, so write the original equation, divide both sides by 36. So it's going to give us 4 over 9, or x squared over 9 over 3 squared plus y squared over 6 squared, right? Because 4 divided by 36, right, simplifies to 9. And 9 is equal to 3 squared. And the bottom right, 1 over 36, the 36 simplifies to 6 squared. So then, right, we need to find the center and the vertices. So with the given information, guys, which one is it, horizontal or vertical? How can we tell? Right, this is horizontal, this is vertical. If you notice, guys, the number on the denominator of the y value is bigger than the denominator of the x value, which means it's going to be like number 2. Okay. Right, so there's my formula, which means, right, I need to find my h, k, a, b, and c. My h will be 0, my k will be 0, my a will be 6, and my b will be 3. Okay. Okay, now, do we need to find c? Not really, guys, because we're looking for the center and the vertices. You see, they don't require c. The ones that require c is the foci, or the focus. Okay? So we got the info. So my center will be 0, 0. And my vertices, right, we have h, k plus or minus a. So it'll be h, remember guys, the smallest value, right, is going to be 0 minus 6 and 0 plus 6. So it's going to give us 0 negative 6 and 0 positive 6. Those are my vertices, guys. And then I believe they want you to sketch it. Okay, here's how you sketch it. Hey guys, to sketch it, I don't need the vertices nor the vertices. Okay, here's how you sketch it, guys. Okay, from here I can actually sketch it. From here, from the formula right after we write it in standard form. Hey guys, if you notice, there's no h in k. Right? That means because the h is 0 and the k is 0, that means we're going to start at the center. When you start at the center. Okay, now the 3, right? The 3 is underneath the x, which means I'm going to go 3 to the right and 3 to the left. And the 6, right, is underneath the y, which means I'm going to go 6 up and 6 down. Right? You can graph it without even getting all the information. But it's always good, to check, right? You can check the vertices by actually trying to solve for them. You see here my vertices, 0, negative 6, and 0, 6. And my center will be 0, 0. Okay, let's move on. This is 10.3, number 9 from the homework. It says, find the standard form of the equation of the ellipse with the given characteristics, and the center is at the origin. Okay, now guys, we can find it, guys, just by the graph. Okay, let me show you how to find it with the graph. Okay, we know that 5, right? That 5 will be my major axis, right? It's going to be vertical, right? So from negative 5 to 5 is 10. So 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. So my A is 5 and my B is 2, right? But I'm going to play the part, guys, and try to find everything, guys. Okay, the right way. But again, you can find the equation just by looking at the graph. Okay, we know it's going to be number 2, right? Because it's going to be vertical. Right, so we know that my h is 0 and my k is 0. Okay, well, we know, okay, this is the major axis, is going to be, it will be a equals to 5. And this will be my minor axis, so a is 5. My minor axis, right, is from negative 2 to 2, so it's going to be my b equals to 2. Look at my b. Okay, now, do I need to find c? Let's see, no, because we're looking for the standard form of the equation, so c is not required. C is how you find the foci. Okay, but here, guys, they're not asking for that. So what we do is put them together, guys, in the formula. So it's going to give us x minus 0 squared plus divided by 2 squared plus y minus 0, everything squared, divided by 5 squared equals 1. So it's going to be x squared over 4 plus y squared over 25 equals to 1. You see, guys, here's what I was trying to tell you at the beginning. Right, we know my center is 0, 0. And since we go to the right and the left 2 places, it's going to be 2 squared. With the x. And the y, it goes up 5 and down 5, it's going to be 5 squared for the y. For the denominator of the y, which will give us my a. So again, I could have found the equation without doing the work just by looking at it. Okay. Okay, now this is number 13 on section 10.3. It says find the standard form of the equation of the ellipse with the given characteristics. My foci is plus or minus 4, 0, and the major axis has a length of 10. Okay. So again, we need to find h, k, a, b, and c. So and then I guess which one is it, 1 or 2? Horizontal or vertical? Let's find out. Because if you notice here, guys, the h's, the k's are going to repeat, right? Because it's going to be negative 4, 0 and positive 4, 0. So the k's are going to repeat. That means it's going to be number 1. Okay. So right? So from here, guys, we know that my k is 0, right? Because the k repeats, so my k is 0. Now, you guys remember that the center is a midpoint between the two foci, or the two focus. Between -4, 0, and 4, 0, the midpoint will be 0, 0. That's the origin. Right? Because from -4 to 4, right, is 8 dots. So either we add 4 or subtract 4, and it'll give us 0. 0, 0 is the midpoint between -4, 0 and 4, 0. Which means my h will also be 0. Now, the major axis is 10, which means a 2a is equal to 10, right? I mean, according to the formula. So a equals to 5. I got my a. My a is 5. Now, from the foci, we can find our c, right? We have -4, 0 and 4, 0. Right? From the foci, we can find our c. So a is plus or minus c, comma k. Okay, now guys, here, like I said, I don't have to do both of them. If you do the subtraction, it's going to be the lower h value for the foci. If you do the addition, it's going to be the larger value. So I'm going to stick with the larger value. So I'm going to do h plus c, k, right? So h plus c must equal to 4. My h is 0. So that leaves my c equals to my c 4. I got my c. So c equals 4. Now to find b, we saw for c squared equals to a squared minus b squared. Right? We're solving for b, so that b and the c switches. We plug in the values for a and the values for c. My a is 5 and my c is 4. So 5 squared minus 4 squared will give us 25 minus 16. So b squared equals to 9. So b equals 3. So I got my b. Right? Now I get my equation. Plug everything in. I'm going to plug in 0 for h, 0 for k, 5 for a, and 3 for b. So it gives us x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. Here's my solution, guys, that we're looking for. Okay, this is another example. This is 10.3, number 22. It says, find the center form of the equation of the ellipse with the given characteristics. The vertices is 2, 1 and 2, 11, and the minor axis of the length of 2. We need to find h, k, a, and b, right? Because h, k, and b are required to find the center form of the equation of the ellipse. Right? So here, guys, right? So then we also have to know which one it is. Is it 1 or 2? Is it horizontal or vertical? Let's find out. This is horizontal. We got vertical. So how can we tell? Let's bring down the vertices. Because if you notice, the h is repeat, right? Because the x is, guys, the h is like the x values, and the k is like the y values. So here, guys, the x values repeat or the h repeat. So it's going to be number 2. Okay. So we're going to use the characteristics of what number 2 has to offer. Okay, now. So we know, right? So we know the value for h is going to be 2. Okay, now how can we find k? Remember that the center is a midpoint between the two vertices. Hey guys, what's the midpoint between 2, 1 and 2, 11? It's going to be 2 what? It's going to be 2, 6, right? If it's 2, 6, it means that from 1 to 6 is 5 units, and from 6 to 11 is also 5 units, so it's going to be 2, 6. Which means my h is 2, which we already know, and my k is 6. Okay, now, the minor axis, right, was equal to 2. The minor axis is going to be 2b. Length of minor axis is equal to 2b. So 2 equals to 2b, b equals to 1. So I got my b. Okay, now how can we find a? A, guys, has to do with the vertices, because the vertices have h, comma, k plus or minus a. So I'm going to use our vertices. Okay. So again, which I'm going to use, right? So if I do the minus, we have to do that equal to 1. If we do the plus, it has to equal to 11. So I'm going to stick to the plus. So it'll be h, k plus a. My h is 2, right? And my k will be 6 plus a equals to 11. Subtract 6 from both sides. So a equals to 5. So I got my a. Now, let's get the formula. Hey guys, let's see what I did here, guys. I'm trying to put here b squared, guys. Okay, I did a mistake there. I forgot to put the b. Okay, I'll fix that. So my b is 1, my a is 5. So it becomes x minus 2 squared over 1 squared plus y minus 6 squared over 5 squared will give us x minus 2 squared over 1 and y minus 6 squared over 25 equals to 1. That's my solution that we're looking for. Okay, now, this is 10.3, number 36. It says, find the center, vertices, foci, and eccentricity of the ellipse. Okay? Okay, so here, guys, we need to find h, k, a, b, and c. Again, so which one is it? Is it 1 or 2? If you notice, the bigger number is underneath, right? The y value. The y on the denominator, which means it's going to be number 2. So when we know number 2, guys, right? So we know my a is negative 2, my k is 3, my a is 5, my b is 4. So to find c, it's going to be c squared equals to a squared minus b squared. So c squared is equal to 5 squared minus 4 squared. C squared is equal to 25 minus 16. C squared is equal to 9. C equals to 3. I got my C. My C is 3. Okay. Now I have all the unknowns. That way I can find the center, the vertices, and the foci, and its eccentricity. So the center is HK, which will give us negative 2, 3. What's next? The vertices, right, is going to be h, k plus or minus a. Right, so I'm going to split them in 2. So it's going to be negative 2 because my h is negative 2, my k is 3, and my a is 5. So it's going to be negative 2, 3 minus 5, and negative 2, 3 plus 5. It's going to give us negative 2, and negative 2, 8. These are my vertices. Okay. Now comes the foci. The foci will be h, comma, k plus or minus c. So my h is negative 2, my k is 3, and my c is also 3. Plug everything in. So again, the plus or minus is going to be a plus and a minus. So it'll be negative 2, 3 minus 3, and negative 2, 3 plus 3. It's going to give us negative 2, 0, and negative 2, 6. These are my foci. For the eccentricity, will be equals to c over a. My c is 3, and my a is 5, so it's going to give us 3/5. That's a ratio. Okay? So I found what they were asking for. My center, my vertices, my foci, and my eccentricity. The example 3, I think this is the last one. Yeah, we're going to finish it in just some time. Because here, guys, I want you to find the center, the vertices, and the foci, and then sketch the ellipse. So here, guys, we have to complete the square. To find which, we need to complete the square to see which one is present, if it's the horizontal number 1 or the the vertical one. Okay, so the first here, guys, we're going to combine the x's and the y's, right? I put the x's with the x, and I'm going to put the y with the y. And also, guys, at the same time, I subtract 9 from both sides. Now here, guys, the y squared has to be, the coefficient must be 1. So on the y, to factor out a 4. This gives us x squared plus 6x plus 4, parentheses, y squared minus 2y, plus parentheses equals to 9. Now the next step, we're gonna complete the square. Okay. Okay, now Hey guys, why do I put also two squares on the right side? Because when I was teaching this course here, one of my students asked me, hey, Mr. Isasi, why don't you put a square on the right side? I said, what for? Because this way we won't forget that what you put on the left side, you also put on the right side. So the first square is going to be for the x's, and the second square will be for the y's. Okay? So here we go, guys. So what goes here? What's half of 6? Half of 6 is 3. What's 3 squared is 9, so 9 goes there. What you put on the left, you also put on the right. 9 and 9. Okay, now let's do the y one. The y for the y value. What's half of -1? I mean, what's half of -2? It'll give us -1. What's -1 squared? It's going to give us 1. Okay, now guys, but here, guys, we have to be real careful. 1 does not go here. Why? Because there's a 4 here in front. If there was no 4, then 1 also goes on the right side. But see, we have a 4. We have to multiply 4 times 1, which will give us 4. Okay, now here, guys, we're going to factor, right? To factor it, I mean, you don't have to factor it because these are called difference of two perfect squares. Okay? So, for example, we only take 1x, and we take half of 6. I mean, which will be 3. And you square it, that's where you get the 9 from. We bring down the 4. We bring down 1y. We bring down the same sign. What's half of 2? Half of 2 is 1, and we square it. So if you would have factored x squared plus 6x plus 9, it would have given you x plus 3 squared. If you would have factored 4 parentheses y squared minus 2y plus 1 close parentheses, it would have given you 4 parentheses y minus 1 close parentheses squared. On the right side, -9 plus 9, right? That's equal to 0. 0 plus 4 will give us 4. But remember, guys, to match the formula, guys, this has to be a 1 here. So we divide everything by 4. Okay? So it's going to give us, on the left side, it's going to give us parentheses x plus 3 close parentheses squared over 4. And for the y's, 4 divided by 4 will give us 1. So now, right now, it's the standard form. From there, we can find my center, my vertices, my foci, right, and sketch it. So from this form, which one is it, 1 or 2? If you notice, the bigger the bigger denominator is on the x, underneath the x. That means it's going to be number 1. Right? So it's going to be, that's 1, that's 2, right? So it's going to be number 1. Now, since I don't have no more space, guys, I'm going to go to our next slide and start, where I left off. Okay. So now, okay, we have to find h, k, a, b, and c. My h is -3. My k is +1. My a is 2, because 2 squared will give me my 4. My b is 1, because 1 squared will give me the 1. Now to find c, we need to find the formula, which is c squared equals to a squared minus b squared. So let's plug everything in. So it's going to give us c squared is equal to 4 minus 1, so c squared is equal to 3. We take the square root of both sides, so c equals to the square root of 3. I got my c. Okay. Now, my center, right, is hk, will be -3, 1. My vertices, right, is h plus or minus ak. So it's going to be h, which will be -3, plus or minus 2, 1. Okay. So it'll be -3 plus 1, and -3 minus 1, so it's going to give us -3 minus 2, and -3 plus 2, which will give us -1, 1. These are my vertices. For the foci, it's going to be h plus or minus ck. Right, it's going to be h. H is -3. My c is square root of 3. So it's going to be -3 plus or minus the square root of 3, 1. Which will give us -3 minus square root of 3, 1. And -3 plus square root of 3, 1. These are my foci. Okay, now, how do we sketch it? Okay, let's sketch it, right? The center is -3, 1, right? This is my center, -3, 1. If you notice, guys, without actually putting the pointer, I can graph it just by looking at the equation. Okay? Okay, right? We start at -3, 1. right? This means 4 right, which means I'm going to move 2 to the right and 2 to the left. You see, here's where my vertices come, right? If I move 2 to the right, it's going to give us negative 1, 1. If I move 2 to the left, it's going to give us negative 5, 1. And then for the minor axis, right, I'm going to move 1 up and 1 down from the vertex, right? And then all we do is draw our ellipse. And the focus, guys, always goes inside the vertices. Like some students pretend that the vertices wants to eat the foci, right? I mean, like the Pac-Man. That's how you know that the vertices is always inside the foci is always inside the vertices. That's how you can graph it also. But you can also graph it by plotting other points, which are all here. Because I believe, guys, that's it for this PowerPoint. Let me send you back to the host so that way they can tell you more about what's coming up next week.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Isasi, for your wonderful presentation. We do want to remind you all about our previously recorded sessions, which are available on the YouTube playlist. Today's session will also be available on that playlist later on. Also linked is a short survey to help us improve our TVE sessions. Please take time to fill that survey out. Before you leave, I want to share the TVE sessions that we will have next week. We'll be back with a Happy Math Hour next week, which Math 1332 will be covering the counting principle, permutations and combinations, and probability and odds. Math 2412 will be covering hyperbolas and pragmatic equations. And today, just a reminder that we will have a student success topic, which will be AWC, Association of Women in the Community and College. Thank you all for coming in, and we hope that you have a lovely weekend. Hope to see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.